Namaste everybody, my name is Dr. Manas Chirsaga and I'm the Ayurvedic practitioner here at Serenity Spa and Soul Yoga in Folsom in Roseville, California. I wanted to take a little bit of time today to talk about mental and emotional health, but specifically how mental and emotional traumas manifest in the physical body. With everything happening in the world today with the pandemic, we see that mental health has taken quite a bit of pain and strain on a lot of individuals. And with the way that people perceive self-care and self-love, there's an amount of passion that is sort of taken a back seat. And when we look at some of the common mental disorders, anxiety, depression, even something like adrenal fatigue, okay, is a physical manifestation of a emotional or mental trauma. Stress in today's world is almost inevitable. Okay? It surrounds us 24/7. And the important thing to note is that very rarely, very seldom, is there a resolution to our stress. Right? If you're worried about money, if you're worried about your family, if you're worried about your own health, very rarely is there going to be a resolution, which means you will no longer be worried about that stress. The reason this is important is because at the end of every stress response, your body has to dissipate those hormones, cortisol, adrenaline, epinephrine, norepinephrine, and allow the body to return back to the parasympathetic nervous system. Okay, this is that rest and digest mode, where you're sitting around the campfire and you're telling stories. However, because of the constant amount of stress and the stressors, the triggers that we see, being in Zoom meetings, being surrounded by family 24/7, having kids in the house, having to figure out a working relationship with your significant other or your housemates. All of these different triggers are considered to be a stress response. That stress response, when we think about it in our physical traditional sense, is hunting and gathering. That is the only time we were meant, as human beings, meant to be stressed. Okay? And the reason some of these hormones were released is to increase your chance of survival, fight or flight. Now we know that when we're sitting in front of a computer listening to a Zoom meeting, that there is no cause for physical pain. Okay? There's no life or death situation happening. But your body, unfortunately, doesn't perceive it as that. And so with all of these things happening, what we see in the physical body is gut issues. Okay? The enteric nervous system becomes severed. The brain-gut connection, the way your stomach and brain speak to each other, is disconnected. We see skin conditions. There's a lot of people developing rashes, allergic dermatitis, psoriasis, all of these, even things like psoriatic arthritis, where it affects the joints as well, because of these stressful situations. We see people being diagnosed with ADHD and anxiety and just an overactive mental stimulation because of the constant sensorial input that we are faced with. And then lastly, we see problems with elimination. We either see overactive, so IBS-like symptoms, or under, where we see bouts of constipation. And the reason these things are affected is the way that your motility happens, the way your motility functions, is all of the sphincters in your body relax only when you are in a state of relaxation, when you're in that rest and digest mode. And so it's funny, we always joke, you have to go to the bathroom only when you get home, or the first thing you're not thinking about going to the bathroom as soon as you walk through the front door, you have to go puke. And so this is what happens when we enter a state of parasympathetic nervous system activation. And the reason for me talking about this subject is, like I said, with everything happening in the world, it's so important to not let your mental and emotional traumas, triggers, stressors, affect your physical body. It's one thing to allow it to happen one time, 2 times, even 3 times. But once your body recognizes a pattern, that's where all of the physical manifestations take place. Your body starts to localize certain imbalances. And when this happens, it's important to be very mindful and aware of the decisions and choices that you're making every day so that you can help to reverse some of these imbalances. For a full consultation with me, please call Serenity to make an appointment, and we can talk about, you can learn how specifically for your body constitution, as well as your imbalances, what you can do to reverse the stages of dis-ease. Thank you, everybody. Namaste.